friends, today's lovely Goan Balchao recipe is one of my mom's recipes, and I always refer to her cooking books, and she has such an array of recipes. So today we're going to make this beautiful and delicious prawn balchao. So let's get started. And at the end of the video, I'm also going to show you how to devein prawns. I've got many requests from the beginners as to Akshita, how do we devein prawns? Can you make a video? So I am going to include that at the end of this video. So let's start with today's lovely balchao recipe, and it has a few ingredients, guys. So let's go through the ingredients. Now here I have some prawns that I've deveined and I've washed them really well. It's very important to clean prawns really well and devein them. So here I have about half a cup of deveined prawns. I have 2 medium onions which I've chopped really fine. These are about 7 Kashmiri red chilies, 2 light green chilies which I've slit and then cut them into half, about 7 to 8 curry leaves. Now curry leaves are optional, but I love the flavor of curry leaves in this balchao. Half an inch of ginger and 10 cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 6 teaspoons of vinegar. Now you can use white vinegar, you can use the Goa vinegar, salt to taste. Here I have 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds and half a teaspoon each of peppercorns and turmeric powder, which is also called haldi. So these are the only ingredients we're going to be requiring. So first I'm going to just take my mixer jar and I'm going to break the red chilies, take off the tip of the red chilies, or the stalk rather, and I'm just going to put the red chilies into my mixer jar. Now, it's also a good thing that you wash your Kashmiri chilies or dried red chilies, wipe them dry and then add them to the mixer jar. Now, I'm going to add my cumin and peppercorns to the mixer jar. Now, you can add your turmeric powder at this point too, but I don't like to add the turmeric or the haldi powder to my mixer jar because that discolors the lid of the mixer. So I always add the haldi powder or the turmeric at the end after the paste is done. Now I'm going to add my garlic and I'm just going to chop the ginger up into finer pieces or smaller pieces. That makes it, easy to grind. And then I'm going to add only half the quantity of the vinegar, grind it to a little coarse paste. And once the coarse paste is done, I'm going to add the remaining vinegar and grind it to a very smooth paste. So this is the consistency we're looking for. It's a thick, yet it's a smooth paste. So you see that all the chili flakes and everything is nicely ground. So now at this point, I've transferred it to a small bowl and I'm adding the turmeric powder in now. And I am going to mix the turmeric powder into the paste really well. So this this tip I've carried on from my dad. He used to always tell me never add haldi into your mixer pot because it becomes all yellow and doesn't even, the lid looks really, yellow and not really nice to look at. So I follow that tip even till today. Okay, so now I've taken a pan and I'm just going to heat my pan up and now I'm going to add 3/4 cup of oil. Now because this is a pickle and we want the shelf life to be longer, so we're going to add a little extra oil, and also when there's not going to be a drop of water in this recipe. That's why I said when you're washing your dried chilies, ensure that you wipe them completely dry before adding them to the mixer pot. So once my oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add the onions and I'm going to fry the onions really, really well. So take your time with this recipe. See that the onions are nicely fried and they should, turn into a translucent color, or they should turn translucent rather. So just fry them for about a whole minute or so till they start to look like this. Now once the onions are done, we're going to throw in the chilies and slit the chilies up. That way the flavor of the chilies, it enhances the flavor and you actually get the flavor of the chilies in this balchao, which is very important. So slit the chilies, break them up into half and then fry the chilies also very well. So now I'm going to add my fresh curry leaves. Fry the curry leaves. Like I said, the curry leaves are completely optional, but I love adding them because they really elevate the taste of this dish. So you can add them or you can skip it. It's all your choice. But I like the flavor of these curry leaves in this balchao, and my mom's recipe says to add it, so I am going to add it. So now I'm going to add my ground paste. Like you can see, it's a thick paste. There's no water. It's not watery. There's not extra vinegar because we don't want it to be very sour. So 6 teaspoons is just enough. And now the most important part is to fry the masala or the paste that we ground really, really well. So you'll get this beautiful dark red color. Now we're going to add salt to taste. Always go with a little less salt initially and then add it later. So now I'm going to add the sugar because we've added vinegar. So, sugar kind of balances the taste of the dish. And now before you add the prawns, just taste this. Take a little bit of it and let it cool down and then taste it to see whether you need to add any more salt, whether you need to add more sugar, vinegar. So do a taste test and only after that you add the prawns. Now mix the prawns in well. Be gentle so that they don't break, but ensure that the prawns are nicely cooked in this masala. So, continuously stir and let the prawns get nicely cooked. You cannot have raw prawns in this, so cook it very well. And of course, the heat of the masala will cook the prawns. Prawns don't take a lot of time to cook. So just keep stirring for about 2 to 3 minutes and fry everything really, really well. So this balchao, for those of you who don't know what balchao is, it's a pickle made with prawns and this masala paste. And it's just like any other pickle, you can store it in a nice clean jar like I'll show you. And it has a very long shelf life. So now I'm just checking to see whether the prawn is done, and it is done. So now all we have to do is just cook it or uncovered for another 5 minutes. So this is a pickle kind of a dish, a balcha, a spicy pickle, and it really goes well with any meal. And especially in the monsoons, when fish is not that easily available, people used to make this, especially in the olden days, and keep it as so they have some kind of fish available to eat at the house. Same with dried fish, etc. So our prawn balchao is ready. Now let it cool completely. And you have to have the oil element because that is a preservative and it keeps the shelf life longer. You don't need to refrigerate it immediately. Maybe after a day or two you can put it in your refrigerator. So I put it in a clean dry jar, and always ensure that the oil is always above the rest of the the whole balchao. And yeah, that's it. So now for those of you who want to see how to devein prawns, so here I got about, I don't know, maybe half a kilo of prawns. I used it to make some prawn pulao, and we made some prawn curry, Goan prawn curry. All recipes are there on my channel. I'll leave the links below. So now what you do is you wash the prawn. Now you take a very sharp knife and you just cut it at the back of the prawn like this completely. And then you will see that there's a kind of a vein which has, it's basically the intestine of the prawn. And that is very important that you take it all out. So, all the black stuff, sometimes it comes out in parts. Sometimes you can pull out the whole thread, as you'll see. And then wash it really well, after you cut it up, and keep it on a dry plate. That's what I just did. I got a plate just behind my camera stand and I'm putting it over there. So take a sharp knife, cut it all the way through, right up to the end, and then just pull out that vein. So sometimes you'll see it comes all together into one shot, or sometimes it just breaks up. So you ensure that the entire thing is removed. But it's very important that you devein prawns and wash prawns really well before you use them for any recipe. Otherwise, you'll end up with a very bad tummy ache and other fiascos. So better to be safe and always do this. So take your time, with the prawns and clean them really, really well. Also, when you're buying prawns, when the prawns are really nice and fresh, you will not get any bad odor from the prawns. Plus, they should be nice and firm. They shouldn't look limpy. They should be very, very firm. So, you have to take into account all these things when you're buying prawns. They don't have any kind of stench. They should be really fresh, and they should look nice and fresh and firm. So some of them did come out in one shot, like one entire vein or intestine came out together, or sometimes they came out in parts. But the main thing is ensure that they are all nice and clean. So that day we had this lovely prawn balchao. Then I made sorak. Then we had surmai fry, which is my favorite, and some lovely rice. So it was a real good meal. So I thought I'd share this prawn balchao recipe with you, so you can make it. Okay, so here you can see that it almost came out in one go. And then just wash it under running water and keep it aside in a dry plate. And then after that, ensure that all the water of the prawns come away. So always keep your plate in which you keep the prawns on a little slant so that all the water goes away. Friends, I hope you liked today's recipe as well as today's video, and if you would like to see more videos like this, then don't forget to leave this video a big thumbs up. Also, by clicking the thumbs up icon. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and become a part of Akshata's recipes. Once you have subscribed, there is a small little bell icon that will pop up, so just click on that. That way, whenever I put up a new recipe or a new video, you get a message for the same. So on that note, I'll say bye and I'll catch you in my next video sooner than you think. This is Akshata saying bye, take care, stay healthy, stay fit, be kind and loving to one another. So till we meet again, bye.